Perfect.
Beautiful. Let me pause this. Okay, so today we're going to look at the last two portions of your grant, the last two portions that we haven't touched upon, which is, we already talked about ideas and processes. We talked about collaborations. We talked about benefit to the San Francisco. How is your project offering a benefit to people in San Francisco? This is what we did last week. Today, we're going to talk about how is this project going to have an impact on your practice. And also, we're going to break down what do you need to do to create a grant plan and the activities, okay? These are the last two questions. They are not that difficult, but it's important that you know what is that they're asking from you, okay? Sure. So, impact on your practice. The main thing that I have to tell you, my dear friends, is that generally when we are trying to create a vision or goals or a new project, a common mistake that everybody makes is we stand right here and we're like, okay, so where do we go now? Where do we go from here, right? The truth is that you have been doing things, you have been working on your practice for the longest time. Everything that you have lived through has brought you to this place and this moment. So when you are trying to look ahead, you don't start from today. You actually look at your trajectory, right? That is the first thing. Look at your trajectory. Trajectory. There you go. Basically, what is the growth that you have been experiencing in the last couple of projects? It doesn't have to be time-bound. In Western society, we love to say like, oh, this year I am doing this, next year I did that. Some years you have exponential growth. Some years you are tending to other things like healing, like supporting others. It really doesn't have to mean that growth is not linear, right? So when you look at your trajectory, just look at everything that has been adding to your plate. You're here right now because you're growing, right? Because you're committed to your growth. What are the things that had brought you here? And how, from this point, how are you going to move forward, right? For a moment, imagine that you get the funds to create the project. You realize this project, you create this project. The project is a big success, right? People notice. You managed to have a couple of media outlets in the space to cover the exhibition, the show, the performance, whatever it is. You actually start moving forward with all of this momentum, right? And say that we are sitting in June of 2023. This is the time where the grant ends. The grant time will finish. Where now? After this, where do we go? Right? The question of what is the impact on your career, on your practice, what they're trying to ask is, how much is this project supporting your growth, right? So for this, I really want you to be bold. I want you to be conscious of your trajectory and think, what is something that I could do after I have a success with this particular project? Oh, I had a very successful photo gallery show. I'm going to make a book out of this project. I am going to continue creating partnerships with other organizations talking about, neurodivergent stories and narratives. In the case of Badri's project, after I am a opinion leader when it comes to democracy and the arts, I am going to be able to offer talks and panels about the responsibility of artists in change making and policy making. After I have a very successful season of my telecast or YouTube cast, I will continue to create more programming, more shows with different thematics, including voices, voices from different people, and talking about systemic oppression, talking about collective liberation. After I create this theater play depicting the stories and the narratives of immigrant people, I am going to be able to continue to produce more shows, or how about this? I am going to be able to tour this project across the country. Okay. Can I hear? Well, I wanna give you a little bit of time. What is coming up for you? Does anybody has a question? Something that you wanna add to the space right now? Because we want. Yes, yeah.
Since this is like the San Francisco Artist Grant, right? Like how I like what you said about like taking this, like my theater production on the road and like having like a national tour on that.
Mm-hmm.
But how far away should I stay away from like veering off out of San Francisco, or like,
For this particular component of your grant, you can really just let yourself grow. It doesn't have to be necessarily that you are going to continue to cater to, but that's actually a very fair question. I would actually say, let's keep it in two realms. Let's do like the overall growth, and particularly here in San Francisco, I am going to become established artist. I'm going to become a renowned established artist, being able to host exhibition, to host shows, being able to collaborate with more artists and to produce bigger things for the city of San Francisco. How about this? After a successful run, I will try to go to the center, the Masonic Center for the Arts, for example, or I would be able to perform this show at the Stern Grove Festival, for example. Think about the bigger venues of San Francisco, because I feel like, there are so many spaces that are somewhat elitist, and I think that what we are doing with our work is really, what the work of equity would be entailed to take over some of those spaces, design to cater to a very specific audience. Yeah, a place that wouldn't have a show, host a show about the immigrant experience, speaking in all, like a Spanish speaking, monolinguistic show in Spanish, showcasing the narratives of immigrants. Maybe that's a good goal, right? Like, what is something that is a good challenge that you would be willing and glad to take on after this?
I think like producing another show, like another monolingual show, being able to create like a season, formulate like an actual theater company that's like, I think those things can be good to add.
Beautiful. So at this point, we're gonna give you 10 minutes to write. And as you're writing, if you have any questions, please ask me, and we can have this space just be a shared space for exploration and knowledge. So if you have any questions, ask me, but I would love for you to take this upcoming 9 minutes and just write what is coming up for you. What goes after this project is a success? I'm right here. We're right here.
Trudeau, I dropped it in the chat.
Thank you. Recording. All
right,
right.
Cars work.
There you, oh, give me just a second. There you go. Okay. Can you see that? Can you see the YouTube?
Yes.
No sound.
I don't think there's
It says
sound.
the original sound is off
No,
on the screen.
I don't hear any sound on my computer. Yeah, further down there's sound and I can hear it.
A fair woman sits with green eyes, lives in a house with glass walls that always bend but never break. She speaks love through every word that never cut a soul but hers. Her servants tend to her house. One Dalit woman cleans the floor. The man bent over nothing, legs also bent, hand fondling a pipe in the afternoon sun. The man curled up, crawling like a baby in front of the corner store in the afternoon sun. This is not normal. This is not just jest or a joke or dignity or love at all, but greedy Jacksons and Franklins freely printing stripped of gold backing, greens of the eyes fixed on diamond line, mountain views and Palos Altos, fangs.
Hmm. Wow. What? Hmm.
Thank you, Tanish. Thank you,
Yeah.
Tanish.
Wow. Did you see that writing in Spanish? She was writing about Juan Rulfo, one of my favorite writers ever. Like, oh my God. Okay. Denise.
She's also a linguist.
My God.
She's a linguist, Arturo, she's a linguist and a translator as well.
Wow.
Any thoughts, any feedback, any love you want to share with Tanish about her poetry in her art, her paintings.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
Well, Tanisha and I, we were paired together to call each other for sharing our feeling every day. So I realized, even I'm more sure through this video, that beside the talent she has in poetry, she also is a great performer. You know, the feeling that is coming to her words is on her face, her act, her sound. You know, this is something beyond of just words and poetry. I can feel it anytime she talks real. So maybe, I don't know, maybe a mix, a combination, collective of everything, like a performer, improviser in poetry, a combination with paintings. She's so talented.
Audrey, I experienced that too as her coach. She's got a lot of presence and a lot of creative fire. It's just like, you know, I see everyone as a whole and hero and complete. I see some extra energy around, you know, like in the presence of an amazing performer. So I pick up on that as well.
Thank you.
So Terrence will be joining us later. Is there any more feedback before we continue on with the rest of, which I think is going to be a break actually now, but any more thoughts for Tanish? Questions about her work? I do, because we do have a minute before we go on break. We're gonna have a 3 to 4 minute break. I do want to ask G to come onto the screen and let us know what she's up to tomorrow. G.
I can actually show you a little bit of what I'm doing right now.
I didn't even catch you mid-chew.
No, that's okay. I have to, today is really important for me because I'm preparing for tomorrow. And so I have to continue working while let me switch my camera around. But I'm working on some things right now. I'm actually in the lab. This is what my workstation looks like. But I just finished printing some things right here. This is gonna be a bucket hat. And it's gonna have a reflective brim, and let me see, I got the inside is gonna be this here, a bandana and some patches and things that are going on this hood, and the hood is also aligned with the bandana print. So I'm working on this for we're having a fashion show tomorrow at the Bravo Theater in the cabaret from 2 to 6 p.m.
Love it.
That's super
I'll
cool.
be there with all my things, and I have not one piece completely finished, so that's why it's like crunch time for me right now.
Is there a cover for that, or is it? How much is it?
No, it's free.
It's a free event. It's a free event.
Yeah.
Is there a link that I can find, or Arturo can drop it?
You can go to my Instagram, and the flyer and everything is there on Instagram.
I don't want to take any precious time away from your sewing.
I'm still listening.
Yes, and then one more round of props that I'd like to just give a little love to. A thing that's happened for her. She's got a feature in the online National Geographic on accessible spaces, and I just would love for you to give us an opportunity to congratulate you and share a little bit about the project with us, because it's gigante.
Thanks, Therese. I think I talked about my son before. I can't remember, but I have a son. My son is on the autism spectrum, and I've been working on a photography project about him for over a year on his experience in outdoor spaces, and the project ended up being picked up by National Geographic, and it turned into a discussion around our national park system and the inclusion of the modifications for neurodivergent children and adults, as opposed to just the typical conversations that are around physical disabilities. So it's pretty exciting. I can drop the link in the chat if you guys want to take a look at it.
Yes, please.
Thanks, Terry.
Absolutely.
All
So
right.
congratulations, Lisa. Congratulations, G. I'm super excited. This concept, this idea of the show that she's going to be a part of is called Power in the Breaking, and has been put together by SanFam. It's a local organizer. I was actually originally planning it with him. So it's gonna be pretty cool. Are we going to our break?
Yeah, we'll be back here at 15 after.
Okay, yes, we have 3 minutes, so make them count. Bio break, water, coffee, whatever you need. Go for it. Okay.
All right, so Arturo's gonna take the baton and take us into the next section of our content, and he's gonna be talking about your grant plan.
Exactly. Ooh-wee. Grant plan. Okay, this is the final portion of our grant. True. I want to hear from a couple of you first. Has anybody seen this, and what do you think about this particular portion of the grant? Can anyone share?
Yes, I was just working on that with Therese the other day.
Mhm.
So for my project, I broke mine, the mural project, I broke it down into basically all the steps, all the basic steps. And then from the basic steps, right now, I'm still working on like the descriptions and breaking down each of those.
Nice. So what do you think? Is it clear for you? Like what is it they are asking?
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm. Okay. Okay. So what I want for you to imagine, as we are doing this, is we are taking the project, your whole salchichon, your whole ham of a project, and slicing it into 5 parts. Okay. I want you to make a list of tasks that you know that you are going to need to do in order to complete this part. Basically, I'm going to need to buy materials, sketch, draft, start painting, buy prompts, invite people. If you're including collaborators in your narrative, what is the moment in which your collaborators are going to start working with you? I want you to make just a list of everything that can come on can come up in your mind, right? We're just gonna have a idea storm. Oh my God, a brainstorm. That's how you say it in English. Perfect. You're gonna do a brainstorm, and you're really gonna just try to get as many things as possible. This will really give you a sense of reality, right? Like this is all the work that goes into it. The second part is once you have them all in place, we're going to make clumps of tasks. We're going to say, oh, you know, like I'm going to open an Instagram account. I'm going to create content. I am going to post on social media. I am going to create an activation, for example, right? We are going to start condensing some of these activities into chunks, into parts. Those are going to be the different steps of your grant plan. Okay, now, just to be clear, this is not the best idea. This is not the best way to actually create a calendar for your own grant, for your own project. But this is what the San Francisco Arts Commission is asking from you. Basically, what they're trying to say is, how can we be sure that this person knows everything that goes into making this project? How can we make sure that this person knows that, you know, in order to make a show of photography, you need to, you know, take the photos, you know, run it through the, you know, like Photoshop or whatever refinement tool you have, make tests of different papers, actually select the paper and print the things, mount the pictures in like bigger plates and then in the frames, and then you need to make a curatorial plan for the gallery that you are going to be taking, and doing a drawing, creating a curatorial text, print the text and the labels, all of those things, right? Really, what it is important here is to convey a sense of like, I know what I'm doing, right? Now, depending on how are you in the time and in the process, in the visioning of your project, you might have a little harsher time doing this. Don't worry too much. Don't worry too much. Parts of the grant plan can be as simple as, you know, hiring a consultant to do project management, and the result can be having a contract signed with the contractor, with the, you know, with the person that I am hiring for support, right? But you can be as detailed or as general as you need to be. Okay. Remember, this is very important. Remember that you're going to have to date these activities. This is how it looks in the grant plan, in the template that we created for you. And this is not actually part of the grant of the actual grant in the system. This is not part of the grant in the system. But I wanted to put it here because I want you to first download your imagination here. This is where you can be like, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna do that, right? Well, this is all going to be step one, right? And so when you come downstairs, when you come down to here, you're going to be able to write it. This is an example: developing a communications campaign, creating promotional materials, creating an Instagram account for the project, creating a graphic, sorry, creating graphics to outreach with community organizations, right? Because these are all of your tasks. What is the result? I said creating promotional materials. Oh, what are the specific promotional materials? A poster design, a flyer design, right? Creating an Instagram account. What is the result for creating an Instagram account? Well, the result that I'm pursuing is I will have 50 followers on Instagram. I'm going to create graphics to outreach with community organizations. What is the result of that? Promote show with 4 community organizations. How about that? Does it make sense? Furthermore, we created a document, just like the last 2 weeks. We created a document with examples of another grant plan. How does it look like? So this is by an artist, Diana Calloway. I'm gonna go through it very quickly, very succinctly, because I want to give you space for you to write your own. But her project was about writing a novel and turn it into a theater play about her experience working in the AIDS epidemic in San Francisco. Upon receiving the grant, oh, Terence is here. Upon receipt of the grant, I will begin collecting, researching, annotating. We're calling this part the gathering resources, right? Gathering sources. I will begin collecting, researching, annotating my material resources. These include a story of the history of AIDS. You know, like she's citing the sources where she's going to be extracting material from. The Shanti Project Volunteer Manual, news articles, personal journals, research papers looking for attitudes and perceptions in the late 80s. So this is everything that she's going to be gathering information from. What is the activity output? I will create a database with 10 entries about the source materials that I collected, researched, and annotated. Of the 10, 2 articles will address attitudes and perceptions between BIPOC and LGBTQ communities. When is this going to be completed? This is something that she could have done better. We just need to say August 30th, 2021. That's the deadline. That's when we finish what she was trying to say here. And I remember this specific case. She was trying to say, I will be doing this between July and August. That's not the question. The question is, when will it be completed? Oh, between July and August. So the latest day of August, August 30th, it will be completed. Okay. So we're going to be conducting interviews. What is the result of conducting interviews? I will create a document to transcribe the 3 interviews for the play, right? By when? Similarly, you just need a date. I would ask you to have this be chronological. Don't do this deadline December and this August. And I understand that part. I understand, and they will understand that some of your processes are parallel. It's not that you need to finish something in order to start the next thing. Some of these things can happen at the same time. But just for the sake of clarity and your grant, just make sure that you have this goes first, then goes this, then goes this, then goes this. Okay? What do you experience as I tell you this, guys?
I have a question, Arturo.
Please.
So, and this is, I guess, broader beyond just the grant plan, but includes writing up the grant plan. How much, I've heard in the past when it comes to grants that they want to see that you're going to do this project, that you're committed to this project, regardless if you get the funding from them or not, that you're driven to get it done however way possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, how much is it expected that you will have already started on the path, like that you've already started maybe doing some of these things and that you're gonna do them, versus just having a wish list, I guess, essentially?
Yeah.
And that you put that in there.
That is a great question, and it is tricky, and it is not. The truth is that what for everything that you're presenting right now, they're expecting you guys to start on. Oh, Terrence, hey, hello. Welcome, welcome. For everything that you're creating here, they're expecting you to start doing it in July of 2022. July of 2022. Nothing has to be done before July 2022. Okay, we have talked about maybe some of this is already done. Maybe you're going to start working before the period starts. They just need to know that your first day at work is going to be July 2022. The last day of work, you have 18 months to complete this grant, but as long as so the short answer is it's a bit of a wish list. Okay.
Right.
But they just want to really see that even though there is nothing specific or concrete, there's nothing concrete at this time, that you know how to get there, that you will know when the time comes, that you will know how to activate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Who else?
Just kind of want to echo back to that question.
Mhm.
So, like, for example, Los Fantasmitas, me and my co-collaborator are kind of like already workshopping some of these scenes with some of the kids or some of the youth that we have in the Spanish theater.
Mhm.
So none of that should be mentioned in terms of like, we should say that we're starting the workshopping after July 2022.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Some of your projects will have like, for example, Jen, who's not here, she did a beta test, a beta project of the larger vision that she has, and she's going to present it as, this is just a small sample that I created for this project, but the actual project is going to start being developed, start being created after I get the grant in July of 2022. Anyone else? Charlotte?
Hey,
Hey. Do you have any
what are you guys
ideas?
work? Sorry, I left for a second. What are you guys working on right now?
Oh, so we're working on the grant plan. So
Okay.
just basically dividing with your tasks, right?
Got you.
Just wondering, not just for you, but everybody, like what is coming up for you? Like, do you see with clarity how are you going to be doing this? If not, please tell us what comes up here, because we want to know how to better support you.
I have a question. I came in toward the end,
Yeah.
so I got the gist of it. But as far as like the plan, you're kind of giving a detailed like plan as to like what's going to make your project come, right? So it's like the steps to getting it complete. Is that kind of what it is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Basically is putting it as a puzzle, right? You're not going to build or building a house. You're not going to make the roof before you do the walls, right? You're not going to do the walls before you do the floor. You're not going to do the floor before you do the basement. So that's the easiest way to kind of like, I go here, then go here, then go here, then go here. The best added plus to this portion of your grant, my friends, whether you get the grant or not, you have a plan, a strategic plan of how to make this happen, that you can present not only to San Francisco Arts Commission, but anybody that you would like to get funding from. Okay, it goes from here to here to here to here to we have a project, right? We have a completed project, successful project. Okay. Any ideas? Any other questions? Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So I am going to give you 5 minutes, 5 minutes to just get, you remember Harry Potter? I don't know if you remember this part when Dumbledore would like put her, like he would extract his ideas from his head, like with this. I want you to do this right now, 5 minutes. Just write anything that can come up. Anything that can come up, okay? 5 minutes. And in 5 minutes, we'll regroup and see where we go from there, okay?
Would you say anything that can come up for what? Any tasks that may come up in your grant? What do you mean?
Any task that will go into completing your project.
Okay, and do you think it might be helpful to give them the prompts?
Did we create the prompt?
In the chat, it's in the, I can drop it in the, it's in the document.
Oh, we didn't see that we had that. Okay, let me share this with them.
I'll drop it in the chat as well.
Yeah, well, it's the document that I shared, but please do it again. So these are just some suggested no. Can you drop it in the chat actually? Are we talking about this?
I mean, that's one document that just gives you examples for your plan. That can be what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, this they do have this. They do have this.
Okay. I think I was thinking of the one that had the prompts, like if they were going to do it in one of 3 ways.
But the sorry to jump in here. The prompts are for was for ideas and processes, wasn't it?
It's for like 3 different ways of approaching getting to your plan. I just dropped it. I just sent it to you. But all is well. It'll go in the post-game notes.
Okay, let me just take a quick look. Yeah, no, these prompts are amazing, but
it's taken from the 3 samples.
Okay, yes, absolutely.
So yeah, just they'll be in the post-game. It's probably the easiest.
Yeah, let's have this time for them to just write freely, and then we can, because we have a second part for this exercise. Okay. All right, let's do this. 5 minutes, 4 minutes. Come back, please, at this time. And let's just jump into it. Who would like to share with me some of the things that we share with the group, some of the things that came up for your own process?
I could share.
Terrence and then Charlotte.
Yeah, I was got a little stuck, but I just was going stream of consciousness, so I was just writing. So since I'm doing a performance piece, so I was thinking about the steps. So like besides like choreographing it and putting together like a script and all that stuff. Like, would those be things that you would put in this? For example, like we have to spend time choreographing to like make it, and then Andreina would be making projections for it. And then once we had all of those elements together, then we would do a work in progress showing. And then I guess, yeah, that's as far as I got. But does it sound about right for that kind of performance?
Yes, I was taking notes and I put them in here. Yes. So this is actually, you were very competent at just like being succinct. Like this is just the one, like this is the overall, right? But of course, in choreographing it, you would like maybe do some research on styles and select the music. And, you know, if the music is not free, is not a copyleft, for example, you would have to figure out a way to, you know, utilize it. So everything that goes into choreographing it, that can be part of it, right? Like that can be part of that specific block that is we call choreographing.
Okay.
Right? Creating projections would be, you know, collecting images, designing a cue with the music, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Like the final product is, we have a video, a 10-minute video for projections, for example, right? Or 3 5-minute videos for projections, right? Putting together a script, you know, gathering ideas, creating a draft, running it through an editor, for example, maybe to make sure that it's proofed and it's bulletproof, for example. All of that will come into putting together a script. And then work in progress showing would be to secure a small venue, invite friends, do outreach to community, immediate community, putting together the showing, actually hosting the showing, right? The final step that I am seeing is to premiere the piece. That's number 5, right?
Yeah.
So you have your 5 steps for your grand plan.
Arturo,
Yes.
so I heard you say choreography, projection, creating the program script. It was number 4.
Work in progress showing. I wrote it in the chat. All right.
I just heard it more succinctly with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Perfect.
Okay, so Terrence.
Yeah.
Grab that, and that's a pretty solid core for you. You need to break down the steps with each of those, and you can run it by Andreina, you know, and see if if you have the things you need for each step. But that's a solid number. That's a solid 5. You just need to get to the writing. So congratulations, you have your 5 steps.
Well, thank you.
Charlotte.
Okay, I'm on 1%, so it might die, and I also have to go after this. But what I have so far was kind of similar. Basically, writing the script of each individual 5. Hold on. I have the cinematography broken down into 5-minute vignettes that can be projected in the ultimate show. And then I have, let's see, where is it?
Oh no, we lost her.
I got writing 5 scripts and then cinematography.
Yes. Oh, okay. Well, all is well. All is well.
Yeah. So we have those things, and we can share them with her. All is well.
What I was going to suggest for her, and maybe somebody here can also make use of this, is because she's doing a series of things, of videos, I would invite her to consider it a season, right? So when you're doing a season, you write the season, you do the scripts, you do the thing, you know, like you're putting it together in a kind of like in a sequence, so that she could move progressively in a timeline, right? I know that nobody else here is doing a YouTube channel, but it might work for you in seeing your overall project as like the final result is going to be just like a final showing of all of the parts coming together in the end, right? Anyone else?
I have something.
Okay, Badri and then Gillo.
Okay, thank you. So before I I read what I wrote here. So can I tell a very brief about my project that to share with others?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. The project which I'm proposing is about, making some workshops in some districts of San Francisco communities that the percentage of eligible voters in those districts in the last election were low, to encourage non-voters to participate to the local and national election. So performing some workshops, bringing up the discussion about democracy, which we go to more details, like very specific questions and simple questions, to discuss about how we can simple things in our neighborhood and change something by ourselves related to democracy. And also, meanwhile, I will provide some paper bag and some crayon and like a paint tools, and ask the participant to write what they believe it about democracy. They want to change it locally, write it on the paper bags, and they can paint as well. And the final outcome is a democracy tree. I call it a democracy tree because it looks like a Christmas tree. So my plan is to be focused on midterm House election on November 22nd in 2022. So I want to perform at least 4 workshops. And then November is a pretty good time to set up a Christmas tree or democracy tree. And every paper bag that people they painted, we use it as an ornament in our democracy tree. And before we hang it as an ornament, we're gonna take a selfie. Like they put on the paper bag with all the words about democracy and everything written on the paper bag. They're gonna take a selfie, which meanwhile I would like to take a blind selfie without any like a visibility, take a selfie by themselves, and then later we make it visible by picking up some holes and take a selfie. And through those images, we're gonna make a video, which this project, it can be ongoing and I can expand it. So based on this project, the first thing I need is is number 1, is developing communication campaign. And the second one is providing a space for workshop. Number 3, gathering resources. And number 4 is execution of the workshop and installation.
Conducting workshops, installation. So can you do number 3? What is number 3 again?
Yeah, number 3 is gathering resources like paper bag, color painting, Christmas tree.
Gathering materials.
And number 4 was the execution of the workshop and installation of the democracy tree.
The number 5 would be the installation of the tree.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Amazing. Brilliant. Succinct and to the point. Gillo, would you like to share with us?
Yeah, so kind of what I have for like the 5 different steps. I have the writing, pre-production, production, premiere season, and then for number 5, I have the community feedback. And for number 1, I have the writing and readaptation with the goals of having a public reading on October 31st, 2022. And the whole point of that phase of the production would be to develop play for a monolinguist audience, as well as a English adaptation. And then there will be a public reading by October 31st, 2022. Then the second part is pre-production. So I'm thinking for the pre-production would be auditions being held from November 1st to November 15th, 2022. Cast list being announced by November 18th, 2022. And then having a designers meeting with designers and director by November 23rd, 2022, as well as creating a marketing plan and promotional material. All of this pre-production would be kind of done by December 31st or by December 1st, 2022.
By December 1st, though?
That's kind of what I'm imagining at this point. I'm using arbitrary numbers.
I would recommend you, this is a great example. This is a great example, and I'm very happy that you touch upon this. I would recommend you to take a look at the time, the premiere time, and work backwards, particularly in your case, but in general, you really want to convey the idea that you're giving yourself the time to do this, right? One of the people that we trained last year, the feedback that they got is the dates are so close together. And this is a seasoned person, like she was giving the dates that she knows, that she has experienced with her projects. However, they were like, because again, remember that some of these panelists don't know your craft as in depth as you do. So you want to make sure that you're saying, hey, I'm taking the time. I'm giving myself the time. You're number 4 on December 1st. I would say finish your year with that.
December 31st?
Yeah, I mean, if anything.
Okay. Because then we would go into the production part, which would be like a private reading with the cast, crew, and design team. And then we would have like the rehearsals that would officially start. And then we have the tech week and the final dress rehearsal, which would be the February 16th, which technically ends the production side of that. Is that correct? Or because then from there we move on to the premiere side, which is where we kind of get into the 5th phase, where it's like the community feedback and presentation part of it.
Okay. I think that you have your plan. I think that you have the tasks very clear. And I think that you need to just work on your dates. Gillo and everybody else, I can see that you have your 5 things clear in your mind. Just try to not for the purpose of writing it in the grant, but just for your own purpose. Try to see how many things will you need to do before you actually execute. For example, before you do the casting, you need to do outreach, right? And you want to do outreach to enough people and enough organizations that you know that you're going to have the actors that you want with the skills that you require, right? So instead of saying like, oh, I'm just going to put out something for 2 weeks, no, I'm actually going to do 2 months of outreach because I really want the best people to be there, right? And that adds to your project, really. Okay. All right. Let's move forward now. We're going to talk about the next portion, right, Therese?
Yeah, Terrence, are you here? Yeah. Terrence, why don't you go ahead and talk to us about your art project, your art practice. And if you needed to do something like simplified, I love your the piece the work sample that we looked at with the KQD piece, if you wanted to use that, but it's your 3 minutes. I know you've been working already today, so just want to welcome you and really look forward to seeing what you care to share with us in terms of your art practice as a dancer and a choreographer.
Thanks. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I probably will share that video.
If you put it, Arturo has that video too. I sent it to him. I was inspired.
I don't have it handy right now, but if you send me the link, I can use it, or I can make you co-host.
Oh, either I think is fine. Oh, I also have the link. I can just post the link actually.
Whatever is easy for you. Also, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything. I want people to see it, but yeah. Terrence, do you have a screen up here?
Oh yeah, yeah. Right there. Yeah.
I love seeing that you're like, I thought that you were trying to remember something, and I'm like, oh, he's really thinking there.
Yeah, no, it's just right here. It's just
I just dropped the link in the chat.
Okay.
Okay, I got it.
And then we can, after this, we can segue into the summary.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't wanna be by myself. Don't wanna be by myself. Don't wanna be by myself. But I just can't keep myself together. No, I just can't keep myself together. I don't wanna be by myself. I don't wanna be by myself. No, I don't wanna be by myself. But I just can't keep myself together. No, I just.
One of my favorite gospel-inspired songs is All By Myself, the song I was dancing to today. The song really captures a lot of joy and also sadness. What I feel when I listen to it is I imagine Black folks finding community, having like the yearning to find community and reconnecting to our own spirituality. And I feel like the church filled those roles, but it also has some pain in it, I feel, where some of our own beliefs were somewhat erased so we could adopt these new ways. So in this song, I feel those emotions, kind of joy from connecting and having safety with community, and also pain for maybe losing a part of ourselves in the process.
Keep myself together. I wanna talk just right. Keep myself together. Oh, I wanna walk just right. Keep myself together. I wanna feel just right. Keep myself together. Oh, I wanna breathe just right. Keep myself together. I don't wanna be by myself. I don't wanna be by myself. I don't wanna be by myself, but I just can't keep myself together. Oh, I just can't keep myself together. I don't wanna be by myself. I don't wanna be by myself. I don't wanna be by myself, but I just can't keep myself together. No, I just can't keep myself together. No, I just can't keep myself together. I just can't keep myself together.
Amazing, amazing, amazing.
Thanks for.
Wow.
Yoon, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. If you could drop your qualities into the chat. That'd be awesome.
Okay. Thank you.
Terrence, wow, would love to hear about what it's like to just be sharing that piece from when you made it to now.
Yeah, thank you. I really, I feel like that's one of the pieces I feel the most excited by, or I feel like the most satisfied with, just because I got to share some of my own story with, just growing up with religion. I grew up Jehovah's Witness. And so to go from that to now being dancing and like getting a chance to like tell my story through dance, it was just really powerful. So yeah, I always just feel really happy to share that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Anybody want to, you got some love in the chat, really amazing. Anybody want to say anything live to Terrence?
Yes. Dance is so powerful, and there is such a history of dance in African American culture, and well, it just shows that you're a testament to that tradition echoing through time in the body, and I found your movements very beautiful. Powerful and yet delicate at the same time.
I will add just one thing. My work is pretty much like around like cultural equity. So a lot of these people, like this is like one element of my work, but if I had more time, I would show like more of like the embodiment project stuff that I have done. I've done like things with like restorative justice and theater. So kind of like the other side of this is like kind of using the storytelling and things for like cultural equity and affirmative action, basically like, yeah, dance is protest and kind of like that other side of storytelling. So
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing those in your work samples.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing such powerful work. It's very, very, very inspiring. And I'm going to segue. I'm going to use this as a segue into our final section of today's session, which is to congratulate all of you in making it to session 5 for starters, and also congratulate you on your growth since you started. So congratulations. Can we get some snaps in the Zoom space? Self snap, cohort snap. All right. So, in just the smallest sweet way, I encourage you to, based on how much you've grown, celebrate that growth by having it appear in your summary. And really, that can be as simple as if you have your summary and there's some pieces that you haven't added, just go back and add them. And just make sure that your final summary supports all of your efforts and your growth. And that it clearly shows, where you're at today, where you're going to be at later this week when you submit. So with that, I'd like to just have Arturo take the screens down. If you could take the slides down, that would be great. And I'd love to get one group picture. Maga, can you grab a nearby hat if you don't want us to see your hair? And I'd love to just get a group picture. If you could take a off of profile. Yoon's highlighted right now. Arturo.
I've never seen June in our cohort.
Yep.
What?
All right, everybody.
He's been here the whole time. No. I'll get there.
Okay.
This is the first time.
Can I get a cohort snap? Arturo, can you get a picture? Okay, one more. All right.
Nice.
Thank you so much for being part of Cohort 7, and also would love to just get some feedback around not so much feedback, but just we just want to have you name some of the things that you have been getting out of the cohort and how you can apply it to your career after applying for the grant. So I'm going to put both of them in the chat, and I'm going to go popcorn style for time's sake. I'm going to see if you could just keep it to a minute.
And just to for the sake of clarity, Maya, that's so funny. Yoon is part of Cohort 6, and he's also been coming to our co-working sessions. And today, because he's also working on his grant plan, today he came to our session today. We just passed the grant plan portion of the session, Yoon, but please stay around. let's celebrate that we're here.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing some co-working, and Yoon, would you be so kind as to put your Instagram in the chat so people can check out your amazing work?
Amazing.
Of course. Thank you.
So Arturo, I want to start with you. And a minute or less, answer the question. Name something that you got from participating in this cohort, and after applying for this grant, what's next for your career?
I wanna show gratitude to everybody here. Your energy, your participation, even the energy that you brought into the space, coaching space, co-working space, training space, really kept us all up and going. Even when you weren't having a good day, even when we were all overwhelmed, that is completely fine. And I just want to honor you, honor your presence. I cannot state enough that your practices and your work give meaning to my practice and my work. So gracias. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And after doing this amazing grant, I am going to have dinner to celebrate, because it's important for us to celebrate our wins, so that's what I'm gonna do.
All right, pass me the ball. Okay, I just have been really just inspired, and really feel so fortunate to be in the presence of such amazing change makers at different points in your creative practices, and just seeing all of you be really open to showing your peacock feathers a little bit more, and your badassery. And it's very inspiring to be able to support y'all and to just hold a container for those possibilities. What's up for me after this? I am going to have some lovely snacks and take a couple of naps, take a couple of extra long naps. I'm going to pass the ball to Badri.
Yes, I want to thank you both, Arturo and Therese, for helping me. What that happened over this workshop in general is, you took the fear that I had of writing in general. I'm no more hesitant to write. It's easy to write things, the bullet point which pops up here, I write it down right away. And I really, owe you because of that big change. And about today, it was a good exercise to break down things. The example of, breaking down the project made me to think about every other project that I have to propose, to break it down easily to sequences on detail, which makes everything more easier to execute.
Amazing. I'm going to pass the ball to Lisa.
Well, I know one thing that I'm definitely getting out of this is that I met you, Therese, and my partner, G. Both of you ladies are so inspiring to me for a variety of reasons, and I'm just so incredibly thankful for those connections, and I hope that they continue beyond our cohort time here. And I also agree with Badri, like, even though I'm not applying to the same grant, grant writing for me has always been such a mental block because of the overwhelm of the process. But how you guys have structured this course and really breaking it down into manageable steps will stay with me for forever, and it will allow me to tackle big things that I not necessarily would have done before. So thank you both for what you've done here. It's really amazing.
I'm going to pass the ball to you.
Thank you. First of all, I'm not a good writer, and I actually appreciate so much that I just sit down in front of the computer and just write something. It doesn't have to be like, it's, I just don't, I'm not very happy with what I write, but I just like that I do this. I sit down in front of the computer and I do something that will eventually make me a good writer. So thank you for you guys inspire me, and also giving me the opportunity to join this group. And then I'm very sensitive about the energy and surroundings. I care about who I'm going to surround it by, and I think you guys always like gave us a lot of good energy, positive energy, and I think that is really helpful for me to keep going. And now I finished my artwork samples and all that. I'm very happy with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Terrence.
I had to do a one-arm catch. I have a kitty in here on the lap here.
Hi, kitty cat.
She's knocked out.
Oh. My goodness.
Yeah, she's knocked all the way out. Yeah, I was just kind of reflecting on this earlier. Yeah, I think what I got out of this, similar to what some folks have said already, yeah, just the really how y'all broke down the grant writing process. Before, like, you know, I had never even seen a grant application, just because, like, you know, I wasn't planning on ever trying to like learn how to do it. But then, you know, one day I kind of, you know, I saw this program and decided that I would try, and yeah, it really made it from something I hadn't really thought about doing to something that seemed like it was actually possible. And I think the skill set, I think I'm still learning. It's like, I think with this process is like learning how to talk about yourself, and like, because I know for myself, like I've just been so much in the grind of trying to make it, and one gig after the other, and teaching, like, and so like things just kind of turn into like, you know, just like past things that I did instead of like accomplishments. And so it's like being able to like go back and actually like give that space, and be able to present that. Yeah, and yeah, a lot of other good things I think about, just getting clear about my own practice and my own values, and being able to like do that and present it. So lots of good things in there. Yeah.
Amazing. Io, can I trouble you to come on screen?
Yeah.
Pass you the ball.
Thank you. No, I'm very, very thankful for this cohort. I feel like I am being asked something that happened within my last session that was shared, but I feel like I'm being asked to like level up, to like not just necessarily like imagine the utopia I want to live in, but try to like recreate the utopia I want to live in. And this cohort, along with their inspiration and along with Therese and you Arturo, who have like actually like given us actionable steps that we can integrate into our lives, and find ways to like replicate this type of procedure for not just this one grant, but rather for like a multitude of grants, and to understand the process that comes through it. It's like I feel like I'm getting like the behind the curtain of what like the white people have been doing for like a minute, you know, and it's just like, oh yeah, this is what we've been doing. And it's just like, oh no, but like here's the language, here's the way that we can do it. And it's because there's been a focus on like cultural equity that I do feel supported and represented in the ways that I can actually actionably replicate these processes for myself and my own practice, in order not to hide behind an organization to be my artistic self, but rather to say, this is the artistic work I want to do.
Boom.
You.
Boom. Mic drop. Woo. Yeah. Maga, can you come on screen for a moment, please? I'm going to pass you the ball. Cha. You're muted.
Let's see. This has been sort of an eventful 6 weeks. I think that they went really faster than what I thought, and I wish I would have been more nagging of my coach to have more one-on-one sessions. But on a whole, I think that I'm learning so much. It's definitely a growth period, and definitely learning about the wording and what is going on with the fiscal sponsorships and all of these different things that I didn't know about. So kudos to you both, and kudos to everyone else who's submitting their grants, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
What's up next for you?
I'm going to hopefully finish this grant by the due date, although I have my reservations. I really, really want to finish it and submit it, and then subsequently going to sit in front of my easel in my like improv sort of painting spot, and just try and generate ideas and explore the medium.
Awesome. Gee, would you be so kind as to take a break from your stitching and grace us with your presence? You're on mute.
Sorry, I'm gonna just step away from the stream real quick. Oh, but look, I made part of the pen.
Nice.
Man, I've learned so much from this course. Yeah, it didn't even seem like 6 weeks. It went by so fast. I mean, aside from just all the grant writing stuff, like not only like have I learned like writing skills and like just like project management, but just like you guys have given me just regular tools for everyday life, you know what I mean? Just like how to deal with, when things are overwhelming. Like I still been using that the little self-care matrix that Arturo gave me, and just trying to incorporate those things into my everyday life. So it's like, it's not just grant writing. It's just like this class and everybody in here have like really, really impacted me into like the things that you guys have said, or everything. I really think about these things and carry it with me like every single day, so thank all of you guys. I appreciate this so much. And as far as where we going next, we're just going to do it bigger and bigger each time. I would love to, stay connected and just keep on keeping on, keep supporting each other, and keep making our network even bigger.
And this is thank you so much. This is my official invitation if you're interested in participating in a Mission Artist Performance Project on December 4th in the Mission from 5 to 10. I would love, Terrence, for you to come and dance. Dee, I would love for you to bring some of your fashion, maybe a little mini fashion show.
December 4th, you said?
Yeah, December 4th at Radio Havana Art Cafe and restaurant. Audrey, if you want to come and read something, or do a little makeshift, not a little, but a makeshift, prototype of like what it could be like to paint democracy. We just have to figure it out. I would love to have all of you, involved in some way, shape, or form. If you want to make a little short of your stuff, I'm also wanting to have at least a half an hour of short films. So Terrence, that's one way that I would love for you to participate. And just hit me up if you're interested in participating. I'm going to hopefully be locking everything in before the end of the next 2 weeks. And yes, Badri, I'll send you the address in the post game. I'll do the call. All right, y'all. So we have half an hour to co-work. Can I get a show of hands of people that can stick around to co-work, or do you want to go work independently? We're here. The iron's hot. You're inspired. I would say work here. Work here. Thumbs up for working here.
I need to get substance, but I want to support everybody who will work together. And thank you all for such an incredible 6 weeks. And I'm so happy to have met y'all, reconnect with some of y'all, and thank you all. But I'm gonna get substance.
Gracias.
Yes.
Oh, before, sorry to interrupt, and just to say something very quickly. We're going to be holding space on Tuesday, right, Therese?
Yes, that was my next segue.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, I am going, and I apologize that I had to leave the house. I am going to a gig right now, but yeah, tell us a little bit about Tuesday.
So I'm gonna just keep going with the schedule as Cartudo drives off into the sunset. The first thing we want to have you do is, if you haven't already, is fill out your to create an account for the grant. So I just dropped it into the chat. This was when it becomes real, is when you actually create that account, and you can also start filling out pieces of that. And then I also wanted to invite you to join us for an application upload party on Tuesday from 5 to 9. And there's also, I think you've already got an invite for that, and it was going to go out in the post game. So we're going to basically just do the co-working for the next half hour. Create a list of all the things you need to work on and just get cracking and chop them down one by one. I'm also hosting co-working with Lisa on Tuesday earlier in the day from 2 to 9. It's not really going to be a coaching space except for Lisa. But
you mean Monday, right? Isn't it on Monday from 2 to 4?
Okay, I take that back. Let me get the right date. I have a lot of dates in my brain.
That's okay.
And also on my part, I would love to give at least one last hour of coaching to everybody before the deadline. So let's just be in communication. Text me, please, so that we can schedule our time. And by the time that we meet, just have as much as you can written as possible, so we can edit and leave it precious.
Arturo, it looks like Maga wants to get some more reading.
Mm-hmm.
Maga wants another look at her grant. Maga, it looks like Arturo has more time to look. I've only got coaching time left for the folks I'm coaching and also working on my own grant. But Arturo's available.
Mm-hmm. I'll text you in a minute.
So yes, 2 to 4 on Monday, co-working and coaching. Bye, Maga. Good luck with your writing.
Thank you, Momo, and sayonara, everybody, and good luck with everything. Ciao.
Does anybody want to be added?
Bye.
Hi. Anybody want to get added to my co-working on Monday? Terrence, okay. Sweet. All right, happy co-working, y'all. I'm gonna do a bio break, but I'll be nearby if you have any questions.
Adios. I love you, everybody. Mwah.
Adios.
Bye. Adios.
What time are you guys performing until?
So we're doing 4:30. So 2 minutes. They started 2 minutes ago until 6:30.
Okay.
Yes, and we will have more gigs in the future. So we'll keep you posted. Okay.
Have a great gig.
All right. I'm still gonna be here just to be in the space. Actually, I'm gonna make you the host right now, Therese. Okay.
Okay, go ahead and stop the recording.
Okay.
Bye, Badri.
Recording stopped. Okay.
Are you guys there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Terrence is here, Lisa's here, G's here.
Okay, so I'm filling out the application. There is a question, has the applicant provide a public benefit accessible to San Francisco-based audience in last 2 years?
Yes, you have.
Okay. I'm not a full-time student, no.
Correct.
Any class or loans? No. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a quick question.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just working on my activities just because we started that today. I'm just fleshing it out. So my first one, I'm writing about like the choreography activity. It's like that's the one. I'm just curious on like how to like break it down more in the part where it says activity outputs.
We'll, meet for 10 sessions, 2 hours a pop.
Okay.
We'll work on choreography independently and together, 3 hours. You need to be at the center of all of this.
Right.
So, you'll work on 8 hours and rehearse for 25 hours. Just figure out the real math.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah, that helps. Yeah. Just getting more detailed. All right, thank you.
Hey, Terrence and Lisa.
Hey.
Hey there. I am going to close the Zoom room. But Terrence, I am also applying for the grant. And what I'm looking at doing is some form of it's called Black here in San Francisco. And the main character is a tree. That's me. And it's basically talking about different experiences being, living in San Francisco as a Black person. And it'll most likely be a mixed media thing. And I was thinking potentially could dance. There's a very strong possibility it will be taking place with a community orchestra.
Oh wow!
And some spoken word. So I would love to bring you on as a collaborating artist.
Oh wow, that's amazing! Yeah, I'm definitely interested. That'd be
okay. Sweet. So yeah, I'm gonna add you as a collaborating artist.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
And I'll as I get my grant further completed, I'll let you know more.
Okay.
Okay.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Sounds great.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Hey, Lisa. You're on mute.
I'll see you on Monday, yeah?
Yep, sounds great.
I'm gonna send you, before we meet, I'm gonna send you some specific questions that I'd like to go over with you. So that way our time is very focused together.
Okay, that sounds great.
Okay, thank you. Have a good weekend.
All right, you too, bye.
Bye.